Matt and I are here to share a performance update on Rebellionaire, how we have done for our clients who are substantially all in on Tesla. And we're here to address some myths around it. A lot of Tesla bulls fear that when Tesla's shooting up, you're going to lose shares to cover calls, or that you're somehow going to trail the performance of the stock. We're going to show you some numbers that show that's not necessarily the case. I think we should just get right into it, Matt.
All right, let's go ahead and share these numbers. There's a few different things to look at, but before we dive into the numbers, I want to talk about our methodology. We have a lot of different types of clients. We have some diversified clients who might only be 5% in Tesla. We have some rebellionaires who, for them, maybe 30 or 40% is all in on Tesla. We're not going to tell anyone what the right concentration of Tesla is for them. That's a personal decision. But for those clients who are truly all in Tesla, meaning 90% or more of their portfolio is Tesla, that's the subset that is the true apples to apples comparison when you're saying, okay, how have we managed their portfolio compared to just a simple buy and hold of Tesla? So that's those clients that are 90% or more in Tesla and who have taken our advice and who've been with us for these time periods in question. So with that kind of caveat out of the way, and of course, these disclaimers are important, so I encourage you all to read through those. Tesla, over the past 12 months, this data is as of September 30th, 2025. So as of the prior 12 months, our clients in this cohort were up 94.59% net of fees. Tesla, comparatively, was up just a hair under 70%, a 24% plus outperformance net of fees over the previous 12 months. We are extremely proud of that outperformance, but we also want to temper expectations a little bit with that. That is not something to be expected in the long term, 24% per year.
That is not repeatable.
No. Hopefully we'll have another year at some point along the road that's quite that good. In the last 12 months, we haven't had a covered call week go against us. We've had a successful trim and add, and we've done a few other things as well. And some of our other names have performed extremely well. We've been able to plow those proceeds back into Tesla. So really everything that we've done has gone well in the last 12 months, and that's not necessarily always the case. We don't want anyone to anchor around this number, but that said, we are quite proud of it. But looking at 2025 year to date, so this is 12/31 of 2024 through September 30th, Tesla during that time was up 10.12%. Our clients were up 21.6% on a net basis. So outperformance year to date of 11.48%. That's, again, pretty great. And one thing I want to point out with this too is Tesla's green in all these figures, but we shared some of these stats as of July 21st when Tesla was actually red. We actually outperformed Tesla when Tesla was down. We're not just adding to risk to get this outperformance. We're doing a lot of things in trying to actively manage the risk of a concentrated position, so that it's not just if Tesla goes down, then you're going to be like 11.48% worse than Tesla. Let's go back to the inception to date. This goes back to March of 2022 from earliest clients. Tesla during that time is up 12.33%. And our clients are up on a net basis 17.67%. These are annualized figures. So the annualized outperformance is 5.34%. And that's net of fees. Even if this was 0.1%, it would still have been worth it for these clients to be with us because that's outperformance net of fees. So it's not we take half this outperformance or anything like that. All that outperformance resides with the clients.
Yeah. And there's some tax benefits that don't show up in the numbers. So like when we do trimming and adding in a taxable account, and people are like, but I'd pay a lot of tax if I were to do that. One, we don't trim and add on all your shares at once. We're not going to blow out your whole portfolio. Two, like when we do cover calls, and let's say we do have a bad week, which we haven't had yet this year, we would buy back the short calls at a loss. We wouldn't sit there and let all your shares be called away, and which would mean you're selling all the shares at that strike and sitting on a pile of cash and have a huge tax bill. We don't let that happen either. But when you do have a successful trim and add, you're resetting the cost basis back to a higher price than it was before. That after-tax gain to you can be substantial on a successful trim and add. So it's not just you're losing whenever you're paying taxes. I think a fear of taxes drives a lot of inaction.
Yeah, we want to be mindful of taxes, but we don't want taxes to be driving suboptimal investment performance. We try to walk that line very carefully, and almost invariably it's better to be invested in the right stuff to get that outperformance and then just pay the tax bills and step up your cost basis when you re-enter, like Bradford said. We wanted to give this update just because we'd shared it previously, but it was getting pretty out of date. We've had a lot of people ask about it. Wanted to share that. Again, don't anchor on these numbers, and past performance is no guarantee of future results. But what we do believe in is our process for identifying other companies that are also misunderstood and undervalued, like Tesla. Our process of covered calls is very data driven. We've done a lot of unique research on this front, pairing that with our knowledge of what's going on in Tesla, looking at the pricing in the markets and looking at potential catalysts, and making subjective decisions, qualitative decisions to complement the quantitative research that we've done. And then also, very importantly, trimming and adding. And we also have some other stuff that we've done. If you're interested in learning more about what we do, you can check us out at forbillionaire.com.
Yep. He's Matt Smith. I'm Bradford Ferguson. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Bye for now.
Bye for now.